Imagine you're on your way to your dealer's house. A screaming woman hops into your car covered in blood. She stabs herself to death, bites you in the neck, and your girlfriend's response is basically, "Cool. Anyways, we still going to that party tonight?" That's MadS, a French horror film shot entirely in one continuous take, where everyone is either infected, tripping balls, smoking cigarettes, or all three at the same time. Mostly all three at the same time. They should have called this movie Mad Cigarettes Being Smoked, because it's literally constant the whole way through the movie. And I've heard they smoke a lot in France, but damn. And while this is one of the most technically impressive horror movies I've seen in a while, it's also one of the few movies where I spent half the runtime thinking, what the hell is going on? Is anything happening at all? And most of all, what's the point? And, best of all, I read subtitles for this, so if you want to know one thing, I am not at all opposed to watching foreign films where I have to read subtitles, but if I have to read subtitles, you better be damn sure that that movie's good. Today we're talking about MadS, a 2024 French horror film that attempts something absolutely insane. The entire movie is presented as one continuous shot. No cuts, no time jumps, no breaks. Just pure chaos unfolding in real time. And honestly, the technical side of this movie is incredible. The problem is, the actual movie attached to that technical achievement is a lot more hit or miss. The movie opens with what looks like somebody screaming directly into the camera, and I thought, oh, we're starting pretty intense. Nope, it's just a painting, which honestly might be the most normal thing that happens for the next 90 minutes. We then meet Roman, or as I'll be calling him for the rest of this review, Romaine, like the lettuce, because his name in the subtitle says Romaine. I guess that's the best lettuce to be named after, a lot more normal for a name than arugula or iceberg. Anyways, Romaine and his friend are doing enough drugs to keep an entire pharmaceutical company in business. Then Romaine heads out to buy more, because enough is never enough, I guess. While driving home, he drops a cigarette and pulls over because he doesn't want to damage his car's interior, which, honestly, it's a pretty nice looking car. I get it. And because this movie is determined to punish him for every decision he makes, a random woman suddenly appears in his car. She's screaming, crying, turning the car off just to fuck with him, refusing to explain anything, basically acting like a 2-year-old possessed by a demon. She plays him a tape recording and he learns she's infected with some kind of virus. She then stabs herself, bleeds all over him, bites his neck, and at that point I thought, okay, cool, we have ourselves a horror movie. For about 20 minutes I was genuinely locked in. The tension is consistently building, Romaine knows something is horribly wrong, the camera stays glued to him, and because everything is happening in real time, you feel trapped right alongside him. When he gets home, he's spiraling. He's punching walls, putting the shower head in his mouth. For some reason, I don't know. I guess he's just trying to process what just happened. And hey, we all process things in our own ways. If you want to deep throat a shower head, by all means, go ahead. Meanwhile, his girlfriend keeps insisting they go party, which might be the worst read the room moment in horror movie history. Your boyfriend is covered in blood, acting insane, and clearly something is wrong with him. Maybe tonight just isn't the night for shots of Pinnacle whipped vodka. The single-take filming works incredibly well here because every second feels urgent. For example, there's a scene where Romaine's security alarm goes off at his house while he's away at the party. And we clearly know it's the woman from the beginning who he thought was dead. But the security company will call the police if he doesn't quickly turn off the alarm. So he has to rush home on a stolen bicycle just to prevent the police from coming and making it look like he injured this woman and is holding her captive. It's tense. However, at the party, it gets really weird. For some reason, Romaine puts on a weird, trippy mask, and we never really know why, other than, I guess, the fact that he's tripping on some weird unknown drug, but It just kind of comes out of nowhere, and it just doesn't make sense. Also, warning, if you're epileptic, definitely skip the party scene. There are strobe lights to the extreme. Unfortunately, the movie eventually starts believing that the one-take gimmick is more important than the story or the character development. Once the perspective starts switching between different characters, things get a lot messier, and I'll give credit where it's due. Switching protagonists in a one-take movie is ridiculously ambitious. That's hard. Really hard. But it creates a new problem. Because the camera can't cut, we have to watch everything. Every walk, every bike ride, every trip from point A to point B. At one point it felt like I was watching a movie about DoorDash. The movie just keeps going, and going, and going. Meanwhile, none of the characters are particularly likable or developed at all. I couldn't tell you one thing about any of the characters in this movie, other than they're all on drugs and one of them is pregnant. Everybody is annoying. Everybody makes terrible decisions. It's like everybody just walked out of the lobotomy operating room. The girlfriend, Anna, especially becomes bizarre when she's infected. There's a scene where she's skipping around town, rubbing blood on people, throwing guys into rivers, and biting the air like a dog trying to catch water from a hose. And I honestly had no idea whether I was supposed to be scared or laughing. I laughed. That said, there are still some incredible sequences in the movie. There's a shot where Anna is riding a bicycle through the city, and in the background you can hear sirens and gunfire and see the complete chaos unfolding all around her. It's one of those moments where the scale of the outbreak finally clicks. The city feels alive, and because there aren't any cuts, it feels surprisingly immersive. The elevator sequence is probably the movie's best horror scene. We get a nice little jump scare right before Julia gets trapped inside. People start dying around the elevator and you only hear it. It's well done. And then those doors finally open. The hallway is absolute carnage. That section actually gave me some serious Evil Dead Rise vibes. Honestly, if this director ever got handed an Evil Dead movie, I might be interested. I mean, they gave it to the other French guy who made that slightly above average Spider movie. Spider. Spider-Man. Sam Raimi. Evil Dead. At the end of the day, for me, MadS gets a 2.5 out of 5. It's a movie I respect more than I actually enjoyed. The technical achievement is undeniable. Pulling off a multi-character outbreak movie in one continuous take is absolutely insane. But the pacing drags. The characters aren't compelling, some of the horror was laughable, and my engagement peaked way too early. When the most invested I was happened in the first 20 minutes, that's usually not a great sign. Still, horror fans who appreciate ambitious filmmaking will probably find something to like here. If you've seen MadS, let me know what you thought down below. Did the one-take style work for you? Or did it feel like the movie was more interested in showing off than telling a compelling story? And would you take an unknown psychedelic substance while still in shock from the most traumatic experience of your life? Let me know in the comments. And maybe we'll just have to let natural selection take its course. And as always, thank you for watching No Name Nightmares. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next nightmare.